Hi, I'm Phil Bainbridge, and this is a quick tutorial video for the tool to bulk create shared drives with permissions. So I've already got a copy of the Google Sheet from the blog post here, and I'm just going to show you some of the bits of information that need filling in. So you can add as many rows as you want. The tool is designed to go through each row in turn and create a shared drive and do them in bulk. So put the name of the shared drive that you would like on the left-hand side there like that. And I'm just going to create a few of them just as an example. Now for these columns here, what you need to do is enter the email addresses of the individuals that want to be able to have access to the shared drive and the type of access that you want to be able to give them. So each shared drive will always need a manager, and the tool itself will actually stop you if you try to run it without adding a manager in here. It doesn't have to be the same person each time. Obviously, I'm just using example email addresses here, for instance, but you can just type them in as you need to. You also can enter multiple email addresses. So if, for instance, on this drive, I want a few contributors, I type in the email address. And then to add another one, if you use a comma and a space to then type the next email address, and you can continue to string them along like this. But in that example there, I'll just enter those two. Now you don't have to fill in all of the cells. Any that you leave empty just means it won't add that type of permission, but just continue to go through like that and add the relevant permissions that you want as you go down each of the rows. With regards to these two columns here, you don't need to fill anything out. The tool will do that themselves. So once the shared drive has been created, a clickable link will be put into this cell here. And then in this one, the date and time of when the permissions have been added goes into this cell as well. It just helps you to figure out if there's been any problems when the script was running. In terms of the config sheet, there's two items to enter on here. You don't need to touch them by default if you're going to leave the data sheet alone. All they are is the column numbers for the shared drive link and the access added. So these two columns here are column 7 and 8 when you count along. Basically, if you change the structure of the sheet, you will need to adjust those columns as necessary, but by default, you don't need to change them. And then the only other sheet is for logging information, just to help if there's any error messages or anything like that that have occurred. But I've also built the tool so that it will display a pop-up in the middle of the screen if it encounters a problem to try and give you some information about what went wrong. In order to run the tool, just use the admin menu at the top and select Create Shared Drives. It will then ask for an authorization prompt the first time you do it, and then it will loop through each row in turn. And a little pop-up at the bottom right will give you an idea of the progress as well as you being able to see it visibly on screen. Thank you very much.